John Kiefer, and if I called your name, you can speak.
Good evening. My name is John Kiefer. I'm the president of Atheists of Florida. I'm here to speak on the issues of the Ten Commandments display and the prayer rituals that was discussed, I believe, last week and some previous weeks. I'm following up on a letter that our legal affairs coordinator, Ellen Beth Wax, mailed to you about a week and a half ago, and I'm assuming that everyone received that mail in the mail. I'm going to make hit on three issues. One, briefly make a statement about the Ten Commandments display. Two, about the prayer ritual, and then three, the effect that invocation type rituals have on individuals like myself and other Americans who are non-believers. First, the proposed Ten Commandments to be displayed, to be located in your city hall, would be unconstitutional because these are specific biblical passages that are inherently religious. These passages would be displayed for a patently religious purpose and would serve as an endorsement and preference of a particular religion over both irreligion, meaning atheism like myself and non-belief, and disfavored religions. Some examples: Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Scientology, Eckankar, Wicca, and Native American shamanism, to mention a few. On behalf of the Atheists of Florida and member residents of Cape Coral, we request that the City Council refuse any religious displays, including but not limited to the Ten Commandments. Number two, we also request that the City Council end its current practice of sponsoring and presenting religious prayers at government meetings. The unconstitutional prayers, as they are presented by City Council members themselves, have the purpose and effect of affiliating your government with a particular religion. The city's practices are biased against atheists and other non-believers. And of course, depending on the prayers, biased against those disfavored religions. Again, on behalf of Atheists of Florida and member residents of Cape Coral, we request that the City Council consider a moment of seated silence. I believe this was brought up recently, over any government-promoted or coordinated prayer ritual. Three, the effect of invocation prayer rituals on individuals like myself. When we come to a city council, members like myself are usually going to come here to speak about an issue that, like zoning or what have you. We're given really two choices: either to stand up and pretend to pray, if you will, or pretend to adhere to that religion, or remain seated like I did and be identified as a religious outsider. Considering the element of freedom of speech, this is symbolic speech. I'm forced into a symbolic speech to either express something that's untrue about myself or, unfortunately, if I remain seated, to symbolic express to the entire world that I'm not an adherent of the religion being sponsored. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Christine Richards, and I am speaking as a member of Atheists of Florida in support of member residents of the City of Cape Coral regarding your proposed Ten Commandments display and your practice of conducting religious prayer rituals as part of your official government meetings. President James Madison, known as the Father of the Constitution, explained why government had no business supporting religion. Madison wrote that the religion of every person must be left to the conviction and conscience of every person to exercise it as these may dictate. This right is in its nature an inalienable right. So in regard to Madison's assertion, the question is, does every American exercise their religious or non-religious worldview in identical ways? The answer is no. Some Americans congregate and pray out loud, others in silence. Some meet and dance in nature, the forest, or a sunrise at the beach. Yet others simply find ultimate meaning thinking about their families and life itself. You, as government, cannot promote, and if you will, establish one form of expressing ultimate meaning over all others. It is not only unconstitutional and un-American, but it is outright bullying by those who find themselves as members of the majority religion. So, in respect to Madison's asserted right that we Americans hold to exercise ultimate meaning in the way that we wish without government intervention, I ask that you refrain from erecting the Ten Commandments display and replace your official prayers with an inclusive moment of seated silence. Thank you.
My name is Ed Golly. I'd like to address the Ten Commandments issue also, because whenever I hear that a government body wants to post the Ten Commandments as some sort of a representation of the foundation of our republic, I find myself utterly amazed, because they stand in such contrast to the kind of freedoms and civil liberties that we have in this country. When you really think about it, they aren't so much commandments as they are restrictions. The first four of them, for example, restrict what gods we can believe in and command its adherents to believe in only the one Christian Yahweh God under the penalty of death. Totally inappropriate in a society that embraces religious freedom and diversity. The restriction against working on the Sabbath is, well, a little bit also unfitting in our society. I mean, would this body recommend closing down the hospitals, schools, airports, police and fire stations, shopping malls, TV stations on any day of the week? It doesn't fit in a 21st century society. What else do we have? Restrictions on adultery. Well, I can remember when a lot of people have been found guilty of adultery, but never were any of them prosecuted for it. Gary Hart, John Edwards, Stanton, the governor of South Carolina, none of these people were ever prosecuted, and yet Christianity mandates this is a capital crime for adulterer and adulteress. Coveting, that's the foundation of capitalism, right? Getting dollars to change hand through coveting material goods. While certainly any citizen is free to embrace these dogmatic ideals if they want to, is it appropriate for a government agency to imply that they should? Absolutely not. Not in America it isn't. I could, however, suggest something that you might consider posting, which I think you'd probably find very little objection to, and that would be, of course, the Bill of Rights. And there happen to be 10 of them, which, when you stop and think about it, aren't commandments or dictates to the population as much as they are restrictions on what you as a government body can restrict us as citizens of the people over whom you govern from doing. You can't tell us what we can read or can't read, or what we can't say or what we can't print. You can't inspect our houses without due process. You can't arrest us and prosecute us without due process. These are the foundation of our freedoms. This is actually what civil liberties is all about. It's restrictions on what you as a governing body can do to the citizens over whom you govern. Now, can you think of any good reason why you wouldn't want to remind the citizens over whom you govern about what those restrictions upon you are? I certainly hope not. Thank you for your attention.